Tonight we continue our investigation into the practice of booting by private parking patrol companies. They put a metal clamp on the wheel of your car and demand cash to remove it. There's no law on the books in Nevada allowing it or outlawing it. So does that make it legitimate enforcement or extortion?
I just said, hey, what's going on? And she goes, you need $200 to get your boot off your car.
You're watching a video shot in Las Vegas by Jim Sams, who calls this practice extortion.
It's like a freelance scam, you know.
Some states outlaw booting by private companies. Others regulate it with specific rules. Commissioner Monica Metz with the State Transportation Authority thinks it's time for Nevada to consider the question.
As far as private individuals doing that, there are no regulations or statutes that allow that or that regulate that.
I'm picking up that you think that's an area that should be addressed?
It is. We've actually asked the Attorney General for an opinion regarding whether or not booting is legal in the state of Nevada.
While the NTA waits for that opinion from the Attorney General, it's open season for booters.
What amounts to extortion is that they came up to these people and said, hey, you want that off? It's going to cost $200 cash, right now.
Here it is happening again in a lot across from Family Court. This guy works for a different company called the Parking Team, owned by Randy Synder. Let me just throw out a word I know you've heard before. Some people say, this is extortion. I came back, there's this big metal device on my car, I can't get it off without paying you cash. That sounds like extortion.
Compared to what?
Compared to not having a boot in my car.
Or compared to not having the car there if the vehicle was towed? I mean, have you ever looked at the prices as far as when a vehicle is booted versus when a vehicle is towed?
So you're saying you're doing them a favor with the boot?
I wouldn't say I'm doing a favor because it's not a pleasant experience if you come back and your vehicle is booted or towed.
Right. To be fair, Sydak's Parking Team is big on signs, warning drivers they could be towed or booted for breaking the rules, as he showed me in this lot near UMC.
If you look at the signage here, it's not like I said, you know, we're not in the process of trying to like hide from people or anything like that.
And it's true that $195 to remove a boot is less than half of the average non-consensual towing bill. The difference is if the third-party watchdogs like the Parking Team call in a tow truck, state law forbids them from getting a cut of the money. The profits from booting are all theirs and all in cash.
I have it on camera actually taking the $200 cash, folding it up, and putting it into her left pocket. That's all on film, cash in the middle of the night. Hey, it's a great business. They made $1,200 just in the few hours that I was there. Cash.
And maybe tax-free.
No, probably tax-free.
We watched the cash exchange in this booting from the Parking Team, too. Well, anytime you're taking cash payments, especially in this town, there's always the temptation that not all that money gets reported to the IRS. Are you paying your fair share of taxes?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you keep track of the money that's coming in on a given Saturday night?
Well, yeah, everybody has a receipt, so you know we keep track of those.
Okay.
I mean, we have our own internal policy, and you know, I want to get into the whole thing about business practices and you know business secrets and stuff. But
the fact that you're taking in cash should not be a red flag that you may not be claiming all of that too.
No, I mean, if you look at you know how everybody's get issued a receipt. So, you know, that has to be tracked somehow.
But no one is tracking the booting companies. It's an industry with no official oversight, no rules or regulations. Synder thinks it should stay that way, and he questions the motives of the NTA.
So there's money involved, and you know, like if you think about it, I was just thinking about this when you know you would ask me about the NTA. You know, they have an incentive also as far as like because they regulate the towing. You know, so if they regulate booting, it expands the government, blah, blah, blah.
We need to have a law, at least specifically directing people to know what to do. And if this is a legal thing, that the companies go by those guidelines.
Until that happens, the free-for-all will continue in parking lots all over town.
So now she has a little key. She unlocks the boot off the car. Then she comes back, watch if she smiles.
Have a good day.
And have a good day. Yeah, because I got my money.
Randy Sadak says if he accepted credit cards, he thinks customers would just dispute the charge after the fact. But I heard from the owner of another parking patrol company today who does accept credit card payments to remove a boot, and he thinks we're onto something here, that the industry does need some regulation. I invited him to sit down and talk with us next week, and I'm hoping he'll take us up on that. We'll bring his perspective.
It's interesting to hear from another business owner who says, hey, maybe there is something here.
You got it.
All right, we'll look forward to it.